Hey, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks so much for tuning in. Starting a few minutes earlier ahead of the Oscars here, just to make sure everything is set up here on my end. But yeah, this is the first time ever that I'm doing a live reaction to the Oscars as they're happening. I've always seen other channels do this kind of thing. I love watching the Oscars every single year. And yeah, this is the first time that I'm going to do a live reaction alongside it. So I know that it's one of those things where this video won't necessarily have the same ability to be watched in the future. I doubt anybody in the coming days will choose to throw this on and watch along with me with the Oscars. But I figured for anybody who's watching tonight, as we are going into the latest Oscar season, um, that anybody would want to just tune in and hear my thoughts as it's happening live. So if you are watching live, thanks so much for tuning in. And if you're watching after the fact for some reason, even though I'm sure you've seen all the announcements of all the winners already, thanks for stopping by. I will be joined today by my buddy D Movieman, who will be joining me shortly. I decided to just start the stream a few minutes early, right before the ceremony starts, just to kind of do this kind of early, talking about what's going to be going down soon. I should mention that I will do my best throughout the entirety of this to not talk over what's happening in the show. I love watching reaction channels myself. I love watching live watch alongs, but I am always frustrated when I see any of those where the people are talking too often over what's happening in the actual ceremony or what they're reacting to. So I will keep that in mind as we're watching this. Typically, with these award shows, I tend to be pretty quiet watching them by myself or somebody like my wife or somebody else. So tonight, I'm going to do my best to not be too talky over all of the things that are going on, but I will definitely be vocal about my opinions. And going into this 97th Academy Awards, that's going to be hosted by Conan O'Brien. Man, there's been so many movies. I saw, I think, 115 different movies um, last year, and yeah, there's a lot of movies that I think absolutely deserve the love that they are currently getting in terms of what we're seeing at the moment in terms of the nominations and seeing all the other award shows that we've had recently, like the SAG Awards or BAFTAs or the Golden Globes. A lot of films that I definitely feel are incredibly deserving of the awards, the nominations, and the actual wins that it has that have been given out. But a lot of films also that I'm surprised to see on here. I think most notably, one of the biggest ones has to be Amelia Perez, that's nominated for, I believe, like 13 Oscars tonight. So I'm very curious to see what it walks away with 13 different nominations. I'm expecting that it's going to win something, but that's one of those that I was surprised by. And then there was a couple other movies in the mix that I wasn't crazy about this year, like Nickel Boys, a movie that I appreciated far more than I actually enjoyed. Um, and then like my favorite film from last year, Better Man, is only nominated for one, which is visual effects. And frankly, I know even though I'm wearing this shirt, it is not going to win. It's up against Dune. It's up against Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. No way, shape, or form is it going to win the Oscar tonight. But I'm really looking forward to this. Let me refresh my thing here. I made a free trial on YouTube TV to watch the Oscars tonight. So it's 7 o'clock on the dot right now in my time, Eastern time, which is what it's going to be. The Movie Man should be popping in a second. I saw him pop in there. It seems like maybe he's having some technical difficulties. To those of you watching, I've never used this headset. This is a gaming headset that I use when I'm playing with my friends. I see Mike of Did You See That has chimed in. What's going on, man? I hope you're doing well. Can everybody let me know, is the audio coming through clear on this headset? If it is, then awesome. If not, I'd like to make sure I get that fixed beforehand. And it looks like the ceremony is beginning. All right, let's do this, guys. The time is now. Thanks, Mike, telling me that the audio's good. Jason as well. Thank you. Got a little emotional start here with a bunch of clips of films. Always love something like this. Good timing, D.
Yeah, actually, I had popped on initially, and then it was something with the cam, so I had to hop back off, then hop back on. But I'm here.
All good, all good. Well, here we go. It's just begun. I don't know if you caught that little intro video that they started with,
Yeah, let's see. Pull that back up.
starting with a little Ariana Grande here. I see.
I had heard that basically they were asked about whether were going to perform or not, and they were saying like they kind of were like tiptoeing around it, but kind of saying they weren't going to. So, but basically everyone kind of knew they were.
Right. Yeah, I'm curious to see how many songs are played tonight because I know that they said that they weren't going to be playing any of the songs that were nominated for Best Original Songs, which obviously this was not. This is more of a throwback
Right.
to Wizard of Oz.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that's a good idea, or would you prefer to have heard
Honestly,
actual song?
with I would have loved to have heard songs from Wicked, but with there being films nominated this year from Amelia Perez and that I'm all right that we're not listening to those, to be honest.
Right. I don't need to hear the P goes to the V and the V goes to the no.
Right.
I'm good on that.
Whatever criticisms you may have of Ariana Grande, her voice is certainly not one of them.
Oh, absolutely. Did you get the ruby dress?
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
Yeah. I kind of just saw red at first, and then it hit me. Yeah. Oh, and then it has the heel in the back. I didn't even see that. Oh, the Wizard of Oz and then the Wiz. I love that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty great. You think Wicked's gonna win anything tonight? It's gotta win something, right?
It's kind of gotten shafted, and I think it might be because there's a part two. So I'm iffy about it. I would love for them to get something, even if it's a technical category, but I'm not positive about it.
Right, I agree. Costume is probably where I think it might happen.
That would be nice. Yeah. I also need to say I love the setup they have with the orchestra and
Agreed.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
whole circle. Yeah.
Cynthia Erivo is something else, bro. She just got that
Yes.
voice, bro. She makes it so effortless,
Yes.
or at least makes it seem so effortless.
Right. Ooh.
I hope they take home something. Like in I'd love to see Cynthia Erivo win Best Actress. I don't know that it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
She's
I'm
got
not.
tough competition. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Ah,
What a wicked action.
wow. Oh boy.
It's pretty chill inducing.
You said what?
It's chill inducing.
Yes. Oh. Oh wow.
That's a way to start the show, I'd say, for sure.
Yes.
Had the emotion, it had the theatrics. Hell yeah, that was great. Great start.
Whew. For a second, I thought they were going to do the whole thing the way they do it in the stage show. They pull the whole
Oh,
thing
like
up,
lift
but
her up.
yeah, but they went up a little bit. They probably wouldn't have
Yeah,
been able to
yeah.
do that. John Chu and Michelle, yeah, yeah.
Very much looking forward to man, who knows who's gonna win tonight.
Oh my God. Oh Lord, I just realized what's about to happen. It didn't even click at first. Wow. This is giving me Mary Poppins. You know what part I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The carpet bag.
I gotta say, I love that there's been some love for for like the horror films in this Oscar season. You know, like
Absolutely, because the history of that has been whack.
unfortunately, yeah. So I figured it would be fun. Obviously, I'm sure people watching along. We got 6 people watching along right now. I'm sure people will tune in and out as time goes on, but try not to talk over too much of the talking for them. But just as they're saying the nominees, I'd love to, hear who you think should win right
Oh
before they
Lord. Okay.
announce who
Okay.
wins.
Mhm.
We lost D. I'm sure he'll be back. For everybody watching, how do you guys feel about Conan O'Brien as a host? I know that was divisive for many.
Sorry, did I go away for a second?
You did, yeah.
Okay, I was trying to log in. I couldn't see the comments.
Gotcha.
I'm fine. I'm fine. How long after that?
The actor races are a tough one tonight. Like,
Agreed.
for actresses and actors, it's admittedly I called Ray Fiennes Ralph Fiennes for quite some time. Honora is one of those, man, that's been getting so much love, and I think it's a good movie. But I'll say it right here. I think it's just a little overhyped. I think Mikey Madison is not
Right.
overhyped, but I think the
Right.
movie is just a
Hmm.
little overhyped, just a little bit. Still a good movie though.
Yeah, it's enjoyable, but I think. Oh wow. Yikes. Are they even there? Oh well, that answers that question.
Hell yeah, brother. I hope Fernando Torres wins, honestly.
So have you seen everything nominated?
I've seen everything nominated for the best picture and for anything that has like an acting
Okay.
thing. I haven't seen all the documentaries or the shorts.
Okay.
What about you?
I missed a couple. I think The Brutalist and I'm Still Here.
Mm,
Because when I was gonna see I'm Still Here, that's when we had to fly out for the wedding.
mm. Boo. Anonymous Bosch. I currently am watching on YouTube TV. I made a free, like a free trial, but I think it's on Hulu and anywhere that has like a TV streaming service, Direct TV streaming or whatever.
Yeah.
She really hasn't aged.
No. Oh my god. Wow. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to Laura Linda.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Here we go.
I agree.
Oh God.
Oh Lord.
I'll use this moment now to tell you, D, that I'm wearing my Better Man shirt at the moment.
Of
Uh,
course, of course.
Even though that I know it's not going to win for best visual effects because it's up against Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and Dune Part Two, it's not going to win.
Oh,
Um,
yeah,
but it should have been nominated for Best Picture and should be winning Best Picture tonight. But
yeah. It
that's all
deserves
right.
more, but
It
yeah,
deserves
I
more.
understand.
I'm dead.
Oh gosh.
All right, on to the awards, please. All right, starting off big.
Yes. Are you a fan of award show banter, or does it get on your nerves?
I like it to a degree. Like I thought this show's been fun so far, but now I'm at the point it's almost half an hour in. Let's get going. It's got to go to Kieran Culkin, I think here.
Yeah, I don't
Every,
see anyone else getting it. I'd be surprised, but yeah, Kieran
everybody
is
else,
kind of swept.
right? Everybody else has been pretty solid here, but it's got to be Kieran. Bryson, I am watching in Eastern time. It's 7:29 here, and I'm watching it live. Like as far as your comment about me being further in.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
saw that happening.
Wasn't shocked by that.
Is that Nick Offerman they have doing the? That kind of sounds like Nick Offerman who said that
Oh,
right
it
there.
might be. Oh. Ooh, that was great.
Yeah, it's definitely Nick Offerman. All right, commercial time.
Yes.
Yeah. So I saw Kieran Culkin coming from a mile away, right? Like that seemed just like the trajectory. Out of everybody else, I think Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown would have probably been my second guess. Though, you know what? I lied to you earlier. You asked me if I've
Mhm.
seen everything. I have not seen The Apprentice. That's the only one I did not see. Maybe there'll be
Okay.
something else here that I realize I haven't seen, but I'm pretty sure I've seen everything that's been nominated for Best Picture. I know I haven't seen. I didn't watch. I only watched two documentaries from last year, which were
Okay.
Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, which I do not believe was nominated, and music by John Williams, which I also do not think was nominated last year.
Which is shocking. Wow.
I know. Have you seen those?
No, I cause see, I wanted to see the Superman one at Sundance, but that was one of the ones that was in person, so I didn't get to
All
see
right.
it. So I think only just recently I've seen where I'm able to actually watch it now. I think it's on
Yeah,
Max or something like
it's
that.
on Max. Yeah.
Yeah. And then music by John Williams. I think that wasn't until your review and then Sins that I realized that had come out. So I got to circle back around to that too.
Yeah, highly recommended. It's on Disney Plus. Very emotional watch. I see Sin chimed in here to say
Yeah.
music by John Williams is great. Yeah, it's really, really good. Um, yeah, man. Yeah, Kieran Culkin seemed like the clear winner. I thought he was great. You know, it's funny though. I walked out of Real Pain saying he was a standout. That was great. I didn't foresee all the award buzz. I really
Mhm.
didn't. I don't know why. You know, more often than not, I feel like there was a lot of them that I saw and I was like, oh, I see that coming. You know, Guy Pearce
Right.
was really good in The Brutalist. So I,
Hmm.
I kind of saw that coming. I saw Edward Norton coming with The Complete Unknown. I didn't
Right.
see Kieran Culkin. And now it seems with all the wins that he's had already, it seems like oh yeah, of course. Like
Right.
why didn't I see that? Um, but yeah, I'm happy with that one. How do you feel about that one right now?
No, I feel good about it. Like, uh, it's always interesting to see certain actors at the beginning of their career, especially when you're really, really young, and to just see kind of the evolution over years. Because I remember hearing from what was it, Home Alone? I think he was
Yeah.
also in Father of the Bride. Both of those. I could be wrong. I believe he was in those two, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like Home Alone was like that first one for me as a kid that I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like I just have so many fond memories. And then of course like Scott Pilgrim as he was getting older. I mean, was in a bunch of stuff between then, but I think there was that little phase where like I didn't really like follow all the things he was in after Home Alone. And then when I saw him
Right.
in Scott Pilgrim, I'm like, oh, this is that kid. And then I found out, oh, this guy never really stopped acting. So kind of like you said, it must be. I mean, and a lot of these people have been acting for decades now. You know, um, Bryson chimed
Oh,
in here to say, what's the favorite John Williams soundtrack? Uh, So Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie. So I'm inclined to agree with you, but I think that John Williams' prequel Star Wars music is the best Star Wars music,
I
in
kind of
my
have to
opinion.
agree. It's
I think
pretty.
the score for The Phantom Menace or Revenge of the Sith are my favorites. Here we are. We're back.
Okay. And I was going to answer that. Mine is Memoirs of a Geisha. I've listened to
Great
that
one.
soundtrack ad nauseum. Seriously.
Great one. Fantastic one.
I know Sin, and it really deserves it. One of my other friends just pulled up a review and saying like, "Better Man was surprisingly great." So I think it's really shocking a lot of people.
Yeah, it's one of those people just didn't see, like
Mhm.
people just didn't see it. And but I think for the voters too, man, like visual effects, I do think it deserved that nomination, but I think
Mhm.
it deserved more.
Yeah, I think in a different year maybe, but
Yeah,
it's kind of a stat category.
right.
Oh my Lord.
I didn't see Flow. I had a
I
screener for it. That was another
yeah
one. I still haven't
yeah
seen Flow.
yeah. I
I've
had
heard
a way
great
to
things.
see it too, and I missed it. But yeah, I've heard great things too.
I think you already know what Inside Out 2 means to me,
Yes. If from what I've heard, I think the wild robot might get it.
which well deserved. Memoir of a Snail I liked. I didn't love it, but I liked it.
It seems very.
Gets a lot darker and raunchier than I thought it would.
Yeah, it kind of has it kind of has that look. I've heard
I
great
really
things about Wallace and Gromit.
I enjoyed it. I'm a huge Wallace and Gromit fan. I don't think I
Yes.
liked it as much as the last Wallace and Gromit movie,
Mhm.
but it was a good time.
Yeah. How long ago was it?
Over 10 years ago.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to get on seeing Flow ASAP.
Okay, yeah. See, and that was already on my list, so I'm really excited to see it now.
Yeah, I had a screener for it at the end of 2024, and I never got around to it, man. It was just one of those many movies I just didn't get to. Um,
I mean, when the
and
screeners keep coming, flowing in like water, what do you do, man?
the end of the year is tough because there's so much of that playing catch up, and like it's
Absolutely. And then you're trying to like, yeah, because you're trying to get in everything before the end of the year and your
right.
list and everything. Yeah. Yes, come on, independent.
Hell yeah.
Mm, love that.
Yeah, I think Flow is also nominated for best international picture too. I could be wrong.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it'll win that, but we'll see. Not Golden Hon saying English. I gotta see if I can see it. Yeah, see, I didn't watch any of these.
Okay. Is this short?
Yeah,
Okay. For anyone watching, we're on animated short right now.
all right. I saw my theater nearby, like a lot of theaters were doing like the run of them, but
Oh, that's right. I think I missed that. Yeah, Sin, you and Mike obviously are, I mean, sorry, you and Anthony are in the same boat, but you both were talking about Hard Truths and how you guys hadn't seen that one yet.
right. Well, congrats to those winners. I haven't seen your movies, but hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Sin, the I agree with Revenge of the Sith. I can't remember the piece, but I think it's the music that plays as the Jedi fall that gets me every time.
Oh yeah, the Order
Mhm.
66. That's this whole
Yes.
section. Beautiful.
Yes. Ugh. Oh. Wow.
It must be surreal.
It
Can't even
is, yeah.
imagine.
Oh my gosh.
I I really do feel for people who are like not English speakers that have to
I
come on the
know.
stage and like.
My lord.
The nerves coming off of them just must be unreal. I'd be shitting my pants up there, honestly.
Right. Ooh.
I'm sure they're ecstatic, but they're probably ready to get off that stage.
Yes.
I see here. Oh, hold on. Okay.
Yes, and
Uh,
I have it's what's the word? It's not secondhand embarrassing, but I kind of feel like I'm in their shoes when they're standing in front of the people. So like I just kind of am thinking in my mind, I just want to hear what they're saying and not think about the fact that they're standing in all these people, because it was a good what they were saying, the speech was great, but it's just like they weren't, they couldn't speak English and they were nervous and they were trying to figure it out. So I was just like, all right, let me just listen.
I discovered when we were all talking at Mike's wedding recently when you were talking to my wife Haley that you guys both kind of suffer from a little bit of a secondhand embarrassment kind of thing together, to a degree. She's really bad with it. Like if she was watching that right now, she's at work, but if she was watching that, she would be feeling very uncomfortable.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Sin, it was oh gosh, I think it was these two. They were two. It was for the animated short
Animated
film
shorts, yeah. I'm
or
not I'm
short,
not
yeah.
sure what their names are. Hussein
Yeah.
something, and I can't remember what the woman's name was, but yeah, it
Yeah.
was for a short that we hadn't seen. But they had a cuteness about them. They were trying their
Yeah.
best, but they
Yeah.
were trying to read off of their phone, and it was
Their phone.
not going super well.
At first, yeah.
I noticed
Oh,
since said in here that she's seen Better Man 5 times, and it's still number 1 for the year. Makes me cry every time. Yeah, I'm dying to see it again. I was about to buy it when it came out on digital, um, and my wife Haley was like, "Babe, don't do it. You know you're gonna buy the 4K the second it comes out.
you
That
said
has
that
the
at the
digital
wedding,
code."
didn't you?
Yeah, because I was gonna buy it right before we hit the
I
plane.
remember that.
Right before we hit the plane, because it came out right before we hit the plane to go to the UK,
Yeah.
and so I held off. So I'm waiting till May until till the 4K comes out to give myself a little bit of a missing of the movie, I guess.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I what's it called? I listen to the soundtrack very often. I
Oh,
just got to
sure.
the point now where I've gone a few days without listening to the soundtrack now. Like I just got there.
Do you
Um,
have Spotify?
I do, yeah. So
Okay, so your rap is going to be up
yeah,
there.
it looks like it's gonna be Robbie Williams,
Yeah.
for sure. And usually my top artist is always Avenged Sevenfold. I think I've only had 1 year in all the years that I've used Spotify that Avenged Sevenfold was not my number 1 band,
Mm-hmm.
or number 1 artist. Um, and I think this is gonna be one of those years where they get dethroned. And I've been listening to a lot of Avenged Sevenfold, but I've just been listening to the Better Man soundtrack
Yeah.
so much more. Um, but I can't wait. I see Sen said the same thing that she listens to it in the car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm I don't know if you're like me, Sin, but like my brain starts to like see the movie play out while I'm
Yep.
like listening to these song bits. Even going back to Star Wars, we were talking about the score there, Revenge of the Sith. I know you mentioned like the Order 66. I saw Sin also mentioned when Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting. That one's called Battle of Heroes.
Okay.
Top tier song. I love how John Williams even utilized parts of like Duel of the Fates from
Mm-hmm.
the Phantom Menace, which is just the
Yes.
fact that Revenge of the Sith is coming back to when they started doing this Return of the Jedi and then they did the Phantom Menace
Mm-hmm.
last year with these anniversaries. I knew that 2005 was going to be or 2025 was going to be the 20-year anniversary
Right.
of Revenge of the Sith. My biggest gripe is I'm not going to be able to go to Japan for Star Wars Celebration this year, which I'm sure the merchandise and everything they're going to do to celebrate Revenge of the Sith over
Mm-hmm.
there is going to be amazing. I'll cry
Right.
about it back home though while I watch the live streams, but um the I can't wait to see that on the big screen again. And I've always told my wife like I just remember going to the theaters. I was almost 12 years old and I went it is a Better Man shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was about to type, but it absolutely is.
It is a Better Man shirt. Looks like we're getting back to it.
Okay, we're on costume design now, which is
Yeah.
one of my favorite categories. I love costume design.
It's got it. Wicked. If Wicked doesn't win this,
I'm gonna be kind of irritated. I'll let it go, but not gonna be happy about it.
Wicked is Dune nominated. If Dune is nominated, I can't remember but if they are, there's a possibility there. But if
Yeah, because
Amelia
Dune,
Perez gets it, I'm gonna jump off my
you
balcony
know
right now.
what? That film does not exist. Shout out to Latvia. First time they've won an Oscar.
Crazy. My mom got me this shirt somewhere online. I have no idea where she got it. I won't lie.
So he's saying you're gonna have to do a hunt or deep dive to find one.
My mom did say it was hard to find it.
Oh my gosh. Well, Sin, honestly, it shouldn't have been nominated in the first place, so I don't really feel bad for them. That's what they get.
Yeah, the movie, I remember I saw the movie a month before it hit Netflix. I got to see it in an early screening in
Yeah.
theaters with just the press, and I was sitting there thinking, "No." And now it's got all these nominations. I'm like, "What?" I got you, Sin. I'll ask my mom afterwards.
Wow. Mm. I'm telling you, ooh, my fave.
I'm a little disappointed that Dune wasn't nominated, but maybe the outfits are too simple, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it deserves, but I will say, just what Denzel Washington's looks alone, yeah, I
Yeah.
loved all those.
Honestly, this could go to anybody right here who's up here. Maybe not a complete unknown, even though it's still
I was gonna
impressive.
say that's
But
on the lower end for me.
yeah, I think it's got to be Conclave, Gladiator, or Wicked. My vote's for
Yeah.
Wicked. Yeah,
Oh yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Okay, Paul Tazwell just won for Wicked.
All right.
First Oscar win. Whew. Shout out to the black costume designers. I love it.
Yeah, amen.
Whew.
I would have been shocked, bro, if it did not win.
Which is crazy.
Seems like such a pleasant man.
Yes. What I also love is like when, because when it comes to industry, you can work with all kinds of folks and they can be, especially back in the day, like some of these directors, folks on the set, crew and all that could be like hellions. But so seeing that they're actually like good people who create a positive environment for actors and other people to work in, I think that's great.
Right. Yeah. Couldn't agree more. How do you feel about that James Bond news that came out this last week?
It's kind of,
For
well,
anybody who
wait.
doesn't know what I'm talking about, really
Yeah,
quickly,
go ahead first. Yeah.
the same producers that have been working on James Bond have been working on James Bond and like had full creative control on who played James Bond and who was going to direct the movies and all that stuff for decades. I want to say like it's been within the same family for like over 60 years or something like that. Um, and they when they got purchased by Amazon MGM Studios, they were still attached, but apparently there was a lot of head to head between Amazon and what they wanted to do with James Bond and what those OG producers who had been around all these decades wanted to do. Recently, or this last week, there was an announcement that they were going to be stepping away. They would still be owners of the franchise, but that they were giving full creative control to Amazon now to do whatever spin-offs, movies. So how do you feel about that, D?
Uh, so, I'm not. Here's the thing. I'm not always the what's the word? I'm not gonna say how do I say it? I I am kind of mixed when it comes to this is gonna sound cringy, but when it comes to like corporate takeovers and conglomerates and kind of situations where something that the family was in charge of kind of then gets connected to something as big as Amazon, it makes me a little iffy because I mean I understand that there are benefits to that, but I also think that there are like I don't know. I can see that kind of going in the wrong direction. I still want to be positive because there are some great things that can come out of it, but sometimes just having the original company or people involved versus like this big corporate company, especially something as huge as Amazon. I'm kind of on the fence about it.
Yeah, I feel the same way because I think Amazon has done some really good things with their platform.
Mm,
In terms of TV shows and movies. Yeah, I think most people really love The Boys. I've never watched The Boys. I've heard everybody tell
same,
me I should watch it, but it
same.
sounds great. It looks cool. I know people love it. Um, I really enjoyed what they did with Fallout. As a big fan of the Fallout games, I really enjoyed that show. I don't know if you got around to checking that out, but there's
Are good things.
but then there's some divisive things, right? Like some people are really torn on what they've done with that Lord of the Rings show. I have been a fan of it. But
Hmm.
I also want to make it a point that I'm not like a Tolkien book fan. I'm a straight up Lord of the Rings movies and like
Right,
Hobbit movie fan. I grew up playing the Lord of the Rings games. Um, so some of those like in-depth little things that they might be playing with that I'm unfamiliar with gonna just go
right,
right over my head. But I've enjoyed what they've done with that. But I think anytime like you have like a beloved franchise that like goes in the direction of a corporation that wants to release like spin-offs and stuff. Even like my favorite franchise, Star Wars, it's like I would as much as I've enjoyed a lot of the projects that have come out in recent years, I'm definitely not on that hater train. I would love for Star Wars if they told me like, "Hey, this is going to be the last show for a while, last movie for a while." And 5, 6 years went by before the next one, and it felt like an event again. I'd be like, hell yeah! Like I'd be more than happy for that. All
right.
right, here we go. I don't know what are we getting to score now or visual effects, maybe cinematography. Yeah, the 1978 movie, I'm not a huge fan of, I won't lie. The Lord of the Rings
And see, I've never seen it. I've only seen like a
clips.
yeah, especially the scene with Galadriel, and I was like, oh, this is different.
Screenwriting is a tough one, man.
Hmm. I still got to see September 5.
I enjoyed it. I think it's a little overhyped, but it's a good movie. I want to say it should go to the Brutalist, personally.
It seems like it. Just looking at that.
Okay, all right. I mean, I'm not
Hmm.
mad. I guess I don't think it. I don't think it should have gotten it, but the Nora was at least not a. It's not Amelia Perez.
Right.
I joked with one our mutual friend Chad Sabrin that if I if Amelia Perez won anything, I would change my last name.
Oh, okay. Neon does have some good stuff, I will say.
All right, well that's one for Honora.
Yes.
I think it should have
I was
gone to the
wondering if they're going to
Brutalist
do
for
that and adapt
substance.
it. Like, low key, that did happen when I was in the UK. Maybe Conclave, but let me see the rest.
Boo!
You have a libretto, opera libretto, and a novel, and this is what you come up with?
Nickel Boys was another one, man, that I really enjoyed the idea of. It was
Yeah.
powerful. It was well shot. I just didn't give a shit about nobody in the movie. I cared more about what it was saying
Yeah.
than the actual
Oh,
characters in the movie. Sing
man, I would
Sing
love
though.
Sing Sing, but I don't think it has a shot. I would love to see it win something.
Damn, I Sing Sing is for me could be up there, but Complete
I,
Unknown is my favorite of the bunch.
hmm.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
I don't know, I had a feeling it might be Conclave. Mm.
It's a good movie. I don't. How did you? I didn't love how Conclave ended personally. I understood the vision. I just didn't love
Yeah.
how it ended. But I thought the journey was solid.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Journey was great. I didn't have as much of an issue because Sin said the same thing. I didn't hate the ending. I think there was, I don't know if it was intentional, but there was like some kind of, I don't know if there was intentional irony in the ending that I kind of
Yeah,
caught that I thought was, I don't know if funny is the word, but I thought it was interesting. But I also think the problem is it comes off as if, the whole messaging thing that can sometimes be a struggle.
right. Yeah, I would say that's pretty deserving. It's a
Yeah.
good movie of the year. Good movie.
Yeah.
Very dialogue heavy, so you need that strong
Mhm.
screenplay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's on my bucket list to take a tour one of these days
Oh,
of the
the
Academy.
Oscars music. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, what would have improved the ending for you, or what didn't
You know what?
necessarily work about it for you?
So funny enough, I was talking to Chad Sabrin about that, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but it felt it felt like that character that they go with to make the big choice in Conclave at the end, um, just felt underdeveloped for me,
Hmm.
to the point where it just felt like m I think it was one of those things where it's like, as we learned more about the other characters that were running for Pope, the more we unveiled about them.
Hmm.
And one thing that was nice about the character who they do choose to be the Pope is, like, there's not much scandal around them, but I feel like we got to know so little about them that it
Right.
still begged the question of, like, they could easily be just as much of an issue, you know?
Right.
But the movie presents it as like, well, this person might be the person. This is the person to go for because they're the person who didn't want it. They're the person
Hmm.
who wasn't seeking it. They're the person with the right mentality around it and the
Right.
right morals. Um, and yeah, it's just I don't know.
It's kind of missing complexity in that sense.
Can I just really quickly say, like, anytime I see Haley Steinfeld in something, like that woman is just distractingly gorgeous. Like she was on there. I was it's kind of unreal, bro.
More so than Natalie Portman.
See, Natalie Portman is like, for me, just like a childhood, like, crush, and, it's like, even now when I watch, like and this might sound weird, but, like, because I was a kid at the time, even now when I watch the prequels where she was substantially younger, there's still, like, this crush element that comes out of me, seeing her
Hmm.
there, um,
Right.
but even now when I see her in things, like, there's just something about her that just, like what's so funny is, like, I've seen, like, videos from, like, her book club thing that she does on Instagram, and I've, like, seen other stuff of her in the modern day in interviews. She doesn't strike me as the kind of person that, like, would really even care to be around somebody like me, in terms of, like, our personalities. I don't know that we would ever really mesh,
Right.
um, but it's just something about it that's just gorgeous. But Haley Steinfeld just there's just people I've talked to my wife about this sometimes. There are men and women that are just unfairly gorgeous. When I think
I
of
agree.
dudes, somebody like a Chris Evans or Chris Hemsworth or Idris Elba, that you're just like, that's not fair, bro. And then you look at women and there's like somebody like a Haley Steinfeld or like a Gal Gadot or like a
Mm.
Charlize Theron, where you're just like, what? What? It just doesn't make sense. Haley Steinfeld for me is just one of those people.
That's how I feel every time I see Lupita, which is why I always refer to her as Bay Pita. But I'm telling you, since the first time she hit the screen, I think it was even before I saw 12 Years a Slave, but she was on some the little Hollywood round table that they do, and I was just like, who is this? And ever
Yeah.
since then, I've been hooked.
I think with her, like, she's very beautiful. Anytime I see her in an interview or something, she just seems to have like the most pristine skin. Like her
Yes,
skincare routine must be out of this world, you
out
know?
of this world. Yes.
Um, but yeah, man, there's just certain people that just are so good looking that it's distracting.
Yes.
Like to the point, even like with casting in movies, you got to be very specific about casting some of these people in movies, because if you cast them in a role that just feels too rugged, I think that's
Yeah.
why like the fat Thor thing worked so much in Endgame, was
Right.
because it's like the duality of like who we know this guy to be and
Hmm.
who's under that fat suit and that big beard, you know?
Right.
Um, but it's just like, yeah, there's just some people that's just like, Lord have mercy.
I was also gonna say, I liked what they did. I think it's coming. Oh, best
It's
picture.
coming back, yeah. Amelia Perez time.
What a joke. I'm sorry. Whew. What I will say, if I'm going to be nice, which I want to be desperately, it seems like some aspects of of Amelia Perez visually looks interesting.
It's a well-made movie. I said that in my review too. It's well
Mhm.
crafted. It just everything else just didn't work for me.
Right.
And there's other movies that are just as well crafted, if not more, that should be on these lists.
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely. Oh,
Scarlett Johansson's
wow.
another one of those.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I was gonna say they did my girl June Squibb dirty because Thelma was, yeah, she deserves some attention
I
for that.
actually didn't see Thelma. Yeah,
Oh,
I
Anthony,
heard good
Anthony.
things. Different Man had some pretty great makeup.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, they definitely need something. I'm over it. Okay. Oh, definitely not Sferatu.
It's gotta the Nosferatu or the Substance. I'm gonna say it goes to the Substance.
I would, yeah, I would say I'd be totally fine with the substance. They did a whole
I
lot.
love Wicked, but the Substance and Nosferatu
Yeah,
knocked it
no,
out of the
it's no
park.
comparison, but I will give them the way they did the green skin and all that really on point, but just no comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Substance. All right.
I am here for the horror Oscars.
Yes, same.
Yes, practical.
I think he stepped back there to let the women that was with him like speak. I don't know if he stepped back saying like that was it, or maybe they planned on just. But I think
Yeah.
he stepped back to let them speak, and they didn't. They didn't step forward.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, definitely deserving for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I saw where Demi was talking about she had oh my girl, my girl. Shout out to Halle Berry. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The end of a specific James Bond era.
Yes. I don't know if I've said this before, but I like love montages.
Oh, same. Love them.
Just,
That's
ooh,
why I
just
make
does
those
something for
super
me.
cuts.
Yes. I'm slacking. I need to do one myself, but I just haven't taken the leap
It's
yet.
it's an endeavor.
Yes, it
Takes
is.
a long time.
My gosh, I still remember seeing GoldenEye when I was really young. That was my first Bond movie.
Same. I remember seeing GoldenEye and then playing the GoldenEye Nintendo
Yes,
64 game. That
exactly.
changed the game for video
It
games at
really
the
did.
time. Can't lie. Margaret Qualley does something in my nether regions as well.
Thank you for that information, friend.
You're welcome. I gave it to you and everybody else.
Yeah.
Giggles asked us Mission Impossible or Bond. I'd say Bond overall,
Oh, that's hard because
but
they're
I like
both.
Mission Impossible.
I probably have to go with Bond too.
Margaret Qualley would be a great Bond girl.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I had heard that this one. I haven't heard of her, but Lisa and then there's two other people who are going to perform.
I don't even know who Lisa is. Am I out of the loop? Am I
Yeah, I'm out of it too because I wasn't familiar with her. I'm familiar with the other two who are going to perform, but not her. Giggles, I was also going to say, I think there's something about Bond having such a long and extensive like history and legacy. And not to say I obviously love Mission Impossible, but something about Bond that gives me like,
the fun
I
part
don't
about
know.
Bond is the different eras, right? Like, there's not a lot of
Yeah, that's what I'm
franchises.
saying.
You can't do that with every franchise, right? Like, I don't want
Right,
a new Luke Skywalker every 10 years,
right.
you know?
Is she singing this?
Doja Cat.
Oh wow, I love Are Forever is one of my favorite Bond songs, and Goldfinger.
I'm not a big Doja Cat fan, but my wife loves her, and I listen to a lot of music
Yeah.
through that, and she's got a really good voice.
Hmm. It's interesting. I still remember Doja Cat from the Be I'm a Cow thing, and then all of a sudden she blew up as a big artist. I was like, is this the same cow chick? Very unexpected. It was a Skyfall. Oh,
Yeah, who even is this? Ray? I've never heard of him.
Ray. Yeah, I'm familiar with her, but she's kind of like lesser known.
Maybe it was too much to fly Adele from Las
Hmm.
Vegas. That's who sings that, right? Adele?
Yeah, Adele. Hmm.
That's a tough one there. The other ones, it was like, okay, like she sounded fine there at the end, but it's tough when like the other ones are kind of like were slightly like older songs, you know? So it was
Yeah.
kind of like it was nice to hear a revamp. Whereas Skyfall's not that old, and Adele just absolutely
Mm.
crushes that song. Um, so it's like, damn, should have got Adele out there.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Shirley Bassey because
Right.
she's a legend.
All right, yeah, we got to get back to the words. By the way, to anybody watching, D did let me know ahead of time that he was going to have to bow out at some point. So, D, at any point, if you need to bow out, you let me know. You are free to stay the rest of the time if you'd like to.
I was gonna
Happy to have
say
you.
we're having a good time.
I'm having a blast. It's nice to
Yes,
talk with somebody throughout all this.
right.
But I don't want to hold you if you had something to do. But if you're
Yeah,
chilling,
no, I
dude,
got you.
feel free to stay.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, my I need to do a video on it. But what is it? GoldenEye, Goldfinger, uh, GoldenEye, Goldfinger, Diamonds Are Forever. Those are probably three of my top Bond themes. The one from Casino Royale with Chris. You know my name? I think that might be. That's another one. And then uh, what's from? Oh, License to Kill, Gladys Knight. Those are like five or six. I think five of my
Yeah,
favorite Bond
it's
scenes.
usually have just really good music for those movies, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so going back to what we were talking about before, I just think like that era element too, because that's another thing too is James Bond's able to have like eras not only in the actor, but in the
Right.
look, in the feel, in the
Exactly.
technology, and then the
Mhm.
style of song that accompanies the movie, um,
Yes.
which is just really awesome. I'm really curious to see where they go with that moving forward. How do you feel about the idea of there's been a lot of toss up in the air of either maybe a black actor taking on the role or like a woman taking on the role? Do you think it should stay a man? Do you think if they should make a new side character that's a woman? How do you feel?
So I think the challenge is always going to be. I think there's always going to be a challenge in the perception of source material versus modern day society. And it's not to say that there can't be progressiveness in that area, but I'll just say this, like for myself. I think sometimes for me, like I'll give you an example, like with the Little Mermaid, which I thought, for the most part was fairly enjoyable. But I think that if I had to choose between having the character as is, and Halle Bailey is obviously talented, but if I had to choose between having the character as is and then having an opportunity to have another black character in and of itself or an adaptation of that character, then I personally would prefer that. And it's not to say that I don't want to see black representation in something like Bond because there's black British people, there's white British people, like it's more than one thing. But
Right.
I worry about putting someone in that position and having to contend with the conflagration that comes with that, and just wondering if that's worth it. And that's kind of a frustrating thing for me.
No, I think you bring a good point. I think the only actor that comes to mind immediately for me that I think most people, and I could be wrong, but that most people would be what's it called, like okay with is like an Idris Elba, but
Yeah,
he's so much older now. Do you
right,
do that at this point? Not that he's an old
right,
man, he could probably still pull it off, but, you can't really grow with him too
right.
far right now?
Could you see someone like Regé-Jean Page doing it?
I'm not familiar with the
Hypothetically.
name. I'd have to look at
Okay.
yeah.
He's the Duke in Bridgerton. You'd have to probably see
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen Bridgerton.
because his name has been floated for that also. And I would
Gotcha.
say his if you ever do see Bridgerton or even a clip of him in that, he definitely kind of has the vibe, the aesthetic, the confidence, that all of that. And I do think it's possible, but I think especially from the woman perspective, it would just be like you're trying to take this this character and da 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 da, da, and it's just like I am ill at ease with how situations like that get handled. So
Right, of course.
it's not to say that I'm trying to say like, oh, let me back off and not do it. I think it's possible. I just don't think it's possible with the type of culture that we're in currently.
Right, right. Damned if you do, damned if you don't kinda thing.
Right. Mm-mm. Did you? Oh, oh, oh. Mm. You know, I love a good edit.
Yeah.
Everybody was clowning in the theater during that entire scene.
That's a funny scene though.
It really is. I was not prepared. I love how they did this one.
I say Wicked or Brutalist.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Hey, listen, I'm not mad about that.
Okay.
Again, I think Anora's a little overhyped,
I
but
know.
it's hard to say because it's like it's a good movie. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. I
Right.
gave it a positive review on the channel, but I said it then too. It's just kind of crazy to me. It's getting this much love, but out of
Yeah.
everything, I'm okay.
Right. Oh. Mhm.
I don't know what you're watching on, but I just saw that I guess people are complaining online that that uh Hulu is crashing for people tonight.
Oh.
Um for watching
No,
this.
you and I are watching it on the same thing.
Yeah, thank God for YouTube TV. All right,
Right.
free trial.
I agree, Giggles. I don't think anyone saw it coming, but Daniel Craig knocked it out the park.
Agreed.
I thought Monica was great.
Bro, the fact that I accidentally called her Joan Baez in my review for
Ah.
Complete Unknown, I got roasted for that in the comments.
Oh, you mean like her last name?
Yeah, I said Joan
Oh,
Baez instead of Baez.
it happens. It's all good.
Damn, we're on Best Supporting Actress. This is a big one. It's a
It
tough one.
is.
I love the power of acting that Isabella there is like so she looks so timid and humble and sweet,
Yes.
but in the movie she's like a straight like badass
Yes.
or like a lot more like stern. I feel like Zoe's gonna get it because of all the other awards she's already got.
Yeah.
I think it should go to Ariana Grande or
Or Monica. That's
yeah, or
how I feel.
Monica. Yeah, we saw that. I'll tell you this, dude. That is the only award I'm okay with Amelia Perez getting. She was the best part of the movie,
Was she? Okay.
hands down. This I don't feel any kind of way about. I don't
Okay.
because she was. I said that in my review when I reviewed it that Zoe Saldana was great in the movie.
Some folks are dragging her online. They were like, "That's what you picked to win your Oscar."
Yeah, I don't think this is the one that should have won her the Oscar, but compared to other roles that she's done,
Oh no, I mean like they were saying that about the dress.
oh, I'm dead. She's been very cryy on her awards, which I get. I'm not taking away from it. All right, Zoe. All right, Zoe. I'll give you your kudos. You were great in the film. You were great in the film. I love you as an actress. You're beautiful. I can't wait for Avatar 3.
Oh my gosh, I cannot. I see you weren't getting swept up in the
Well,
in
I've already seen
the.
her awards, like her wins for the last few.
Oh,
Like
and so is it kind of the same?
it's not the same, but she's been very like it's similar things, and then the like the talking, and then these moments of outbursts of cry. But I get it. I mean, hey, if I was winning an Oscar for anything, I'd probably be very emotional, very nervous, all over the place.
Yeah.
And I love Zoe Saldana. I really want to highlight that. I've been poking fun at Amelia Perez all night, but while I didn't like the movie, I thought she was great in it. I think she's beautiful. I think she's incredibly talented. I love her in so many roles, and I look forward to her career continuing on. So I'm happy for her, for sure.
Um, I will be honest. I'm still personally getting over her the whole Nina Simone debacle. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
No, I'm not.
okay, well, I'll just let you look that up because she and I ain't been on the same page since then. But
Okay, okay.
but I can at least for the sake of the arts and the performance, I can appreciate that she did what needed to be done. As far as Tamika, I'm so glad to hear you're better. I hope you are able to get out soon. And yeah, it was just good to hear from you and just hear that you're somewhat in good spirits considering everything. Um, and it's okay, we know when it comes to the Oscars and the movies, some you catch, some you don't. A lot of them you might not, but yeah. But I think it's just the ceremony as a whole is fun. Yeah, they were dragging the dress, and then people were also saying that she should have worn like an updo or something like that. So yeah, it was a lot of conversation about the fashion on
I'm
the
definitely
conversation.
disconnected from the fashion discussion, unless it's one of those things where somebody's like so clearly just like dressed like either underdressed massively, and what I mean by underdressed is like when they come like where scantily clad is an understatement,
Mm.
or when they're just like the outfit is so elaborate. Like I remember a few years ago there was that one Oscars where there was like a woman sitting in the audience that had like this huge hat
Oh, you
that
talking
was
about
just like
Tim's? You talking about the white thing? Yeah,
yeah,
I know what you're
just
talking
like
about.
completely covering the show for the people behind it. Stuff like that
Right,
where it's like, okay, dude.
right.
Um, but yeah, I wonder if we'll have any like debacles tonight. It's still kind of early. Like,
Yeah.
will there be like, is there gonna be a Will Smith slap? Is there gonna be like
Oh Lord,
a Best
please. I
Picture
just
mishap like La La Land and Moonlight? Like,
and both of those were just. I don't even have the
I'm
words
still
for either one of
heartbroken
those.
about the La La Land one, bro. I wanted La La Land to win so bad. I was so excited when it said they won. And I like Moonlight. I think Moonlight is a good movie, but I think La La Land is not only better, but so much better. I'm sure people will disagree with me on that. That's okay. But which one do you like more? Who do you think should have won on that one?
Um. So listen. It's well, I mean, it's not hard to say, but unfortunately for you, La La Land is not high on my appreciation list. There are a lot of
Oh,
folks who
fair
love it.
enough.
I went to go see that, and I was just like, oh, okay, sure. I think visually, some of the aesthetics of it, or I think it was really beautifully filmed and crafted and all that. But I think as far as what I consider a musical and maybe what I was going in expecting from it, it just didn't quite give me that. But I do understand in a lot of ways why it really gives people a certain something, especially the way it's kind of trying to harken back to, a certain era of movie musicals and the style of
Right.
film from back then.
Yeah, I watched it the week after it came out. Um, like right after the weekend. It was like a Tuesday. I had a day off. I was
Hmm.
working at a movie theater at the time, so I went on my day off to use like my like ability to go see movies for free to
Right.
watch that. And I remember it was like an 11 a.m. Tuesday screening of La La Land, and I am alone. Nobody else is in the theater, and I'm crying to alone watching this movie.
Was it the ending that made you cry?
Yeah, I just love the human. I'm a sucker for the human condition. Um,
Hmm.
it allows me to sympathize with people. It allows me to recognize things in myself. But in
Yeah.
movies, it really allows me to like connect to stories that I can't connect to. And I love the notion, not only in romance, but also in like friendships, the idea that like you can love somebody and really care for somebody, but your paths are so different that you just, like I just love how that story played out.
And I will agree with you that I think the ending was actually really great.
And it's a story about dreamers, and
Yes.
I'm a dreamer myself, so I feel
Yes,
like I
you are. I was
really
gonna say
connect.
you definitely are.
The Brutalist
Ooh, I
definitely
love.
deserves it. So does Conclave, though.
It is. I'm telling you, production design is another one where it's like these things are literally made and crafted for a
Yeah.
set. Like,
Dune Part 2
ugh,
definitely deserves it too. So does
back category.
Nosferatu.
That's what I'm saying. You can't go wrong with any of these.
I won't be mad if any of these win.
Right, because they did so much with Wicked too. Yeah, these are all great. Just throw a dart. Ah.
All right. Nice.
Love
Well
it.
deserved.
I literally said if I can't get anything else out of Wicked, let's go in on technical. So I'm happy.
Right, right. All right. Wicked.
Mhm.
Yeah. Giggles, you said you disagree with me. I said a lot of things there in that little bit before, so feel free to tell me what you disagree with me on.
Yeah, I was like, what was it? I don't know. It might have been about the La La Land Moonlight.
Maybe, maybe.
Tamika, you said Dabical?
I'm assuming she's trying to say debacle.
Oh,
That's all.
I really wasn't paying attention. Sorry, yeah, debacle. You know, it's always possible, honestly.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Moonlight is a good movie. I like it. I just like La La Land more, but I do like Moonlight. I think it's a very well made film,
Yeah, Moonlight was very different than I thought it would be. I didn't know what to expect from it, but yeah,
and it's filmed and takes place in Miami, and I'm from Miami, so that gets
right,
extra plus points on that for me.
right. Exactly how I feel about Chicago films.
Right.
Was this a good song?
That's the best song in the movie, in my opinion.
Okay.
I didn't watch this movie, but I heard good things.
What, 688?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I have my issues with Tyler Perry, but I do think this is actually one of his better films.
I honestly gave up on Tyler Perry a long time ago just because
Yeah,
of his
same.
of the quality of the films.
Yeah,
That's why I didn't watch it.
I just feel like all things considered, like all the resources you have, your own studio and all this other stuff. I'm just like, but
But
this was a great
I heard
song, and
this was like a step up for him.
yeah, it was.
I would have loved to have seen uh Forbidden Road from Better Man be put on this list. It's in the credits,
Oh, and it's
and
a new song.
it's a new song that was written for the movie. I voted for it in my Critics Association, like voting at the end of the year.
Would it be for this Oscars?
It could have been
Oh, okay, I didn't realize that. Okay.
because Better Man is nominated in Best Visual Effects because it
Oh, you
came
know
out.
what? I'm
It
sorry.
like
I completely forgot.
got that December window release to qualify.
Yeah, I keep forgetting it can be in December. I was thinking something
Right.
else.
I think they should have just waited for it to be like a contender this year, but
Right, because see, I was thinking, about the fact that it got released in 2025, but that's not when it
right,
actually came out.
right. Its limited release was super limited though, like LA and New York only in December.
Which gets on my nerves.
Right.
Oh, see, I didn't even know this was out, or I haven't seen this.
Yeah, I heard about this. I didn't get around to it though.
Did you like Rocket Man?
I didn't see Rocketman. I
Oh,
heard
okay.
good things. I never got around to him.
Okay.
In the last few years, I missed Rocketman and I missed Elvis. Yet to have seen them. I want to though.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hmm.
All right, whatever, bro. It's not a terrible
Oh,
song.
so I'm assuming it could have been another choice you might have
It was the
preferred,
best song in the movie. I'll give
but
it
still
that.
not the best in the category.
I would have rathered anything else.
Okay.
You and me could write a song right now, and I would have preferred that.
I believe it. You could do something good.
But that song is not half bad though.
You know what? I just thought about it. They didn't want to do the brother song from Mufasa. They could have nominated that.
I always wanted a brother.
Ah.
All right, I've had enough. Let's get going, guys.
You know what? They need you at the Oscars because you would definitely be shoving folks off stage.
And me in the back. Let's roll.
Yeah. They need to give you the what is it called? You know, the stage hook.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think of the
um,
ceremony?
what do I think of it so far?
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I love
Uh,
watching the Oscars, man. How about you?
no, I am too. I It's like it kind of depends on. Well, let me not say that because I would say like there have been some years I've been more excited to watch than others. But it's one of
Right,
those things where, and I guess it's one of those things where the Oscars, somewhat like film critics, is very, very different. But I feel like sometimes the amount of animosity there is towards it is just like, I don't think this is that big of a deal. And ultimately, as was said, I'm glad they said that earlier on, but I'm like, there are so many people behind the scenes, especially like in technical categories and, in so many various degrees of film outside of just the films themselves and the actors that need to be rewarded, for
right,
their work. So like the production design, the costume design, the writing, all this other stuff. So to me, I think it's just great to see people being awarded for great work. And I think
right,
rather than seeing that, people think like Hollywood, celebrities, who cares? They're just blowing smoke up their own, you know what? And it's just like, I mean, if that's how you want to see it, that's fine. But ultimately, like knowing how I feel about film and all the work that goes, behind it, to me, it's just something I really enjoy. Yes, sometimes the ceremonies can be a lot, but I think it's just fun to be able to root for, people in this industry who really deserve, that attention and that acclaim.
right. No, I agree. And I think for me, before I even, I've always been a film fan, but there was just I would say there was a chunk of time I was like, I'd go to see the popcorn films, go to see the franchise films like most people. I'd probably see more than the general person, but
Hmm.
I'd see a lot of the big stuff. And so every year there was always coming to the Oscars only to be like, oh, like I haven't seen that or haven't even heard of that or what is
Hmm.
that? And I think in recent years, like since I became really invested in film, and when I started like when I was working at a theater and I was watching movies all the time, and I was
Hmm.
um then starting this channel like you and I are in a I would say in a different position than most people who are going to watch the Oscars tonight because a lot of people want to see the movies that they love be nominated and talked about.
Right.
um but unfortunately, like we know watching movies as much as we do that Deadpool and Wolverine ain't going to be like, it might be referenced, it might be joked about, but it's not going to get
Right.
the award even though it was one of my favorite movies of last year. As for a
Right.
different reason, but it's like this I think watching so many movies you get to really see what's celebrated here and you feel like you're part of the conversation a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. I'm not trying to be funny, but is there something? Is that how she usually talks?
I've seen stuff in recent years, like, she seems a little bit more seems a little different in how she sounds. Maybe she's a little nervous, though?
Okay.
Possibility?
I'm not trying to be funny. It literally sounded like she was like holding her mouth a certain way, but I wasn't sure if that was part of the
Right.
bit, and then it wasn't. So,
Could be the dress, too, maybe it's a
oh,
little
I'm sure that
tight.
doesn't help.
This year, I'm gonna try to watch more documentaries. That's one thing. I focus so much on narrative film because that's my
Mhm,
favorite stuff, but, like, I
mhm.
know I missed out on good documentaries this last year.
Listen, I'm always throwing out the documentaries, especially Sundance stuff. So yeah, I love documentaries.
Right, yeah, I got this year, I gotta jump on the documentaries.
I will say though, I have never seen a documentary short film, so I have to like change that.
Right.
I agree.
Damn, I feel like they didn't get a lot of time. I feel like other people talked way longer. I could be wrong, but I feel
Yeah,
like
I
they
agree
kinda
with that.
nobody else has been played off tonight, have they?
There was only one other. Oh, I think the people who were singing,
Oh, yeah.
which you were fine with.
Yeah. I heard good things about this one. I heard good things about this one too.
Oh wow. Oh, this was at Sundance. One of my friends saw this one.
Mm,
Oh, I saw Sugar Cane. Yeah,
good one?
Sugar Cane was Sugar Cane. Yeah, that was a gut punch. And this is I mean, there are other examples too, but this is an example of what I'm talking about. It's just like it puts a spotlight on films like this that I wasn't aware of.
Right, and smaller filmmakers that, like, you just nobody thinks about. Tomorrow, everybody's gonna be talking about whoever won Best Picture, won Best
Right.
Actress, Best Actor, which is fine, but
Mm.
Well said. I gotta say, well
Yeah.
said. They didn't get played off though. I noticed they were talking way longer than the short film ones. I
Right.
guess the short film people, they're like, "Hey, you got a shorter amount of time."
Right.
'Cause-
There we go. You figured it out. Ah, I just realized they're playing Heal the World. Yep. Yeah.
oh man, yeah, I'm enjoying the ceremony so far. I think it's doing what it needs to do. I liked seeing the awards. Like don't get me wrong,
Hmm.
like the fun of it, the songs, all that kind of stuff is great. But anytime that stuff starts up, I'm just like, all right, get to the next awards. Um, just because that's what I want to see. Like
Right.
I'm so nervous about who's gonna win Best Picture, dude. Like I don't
I
know
know.
who it's gonna be.
I know who it better not be.
Oh my god! If it's Amelia Perez, I won't say anything. I'll stand up. You'll hear glass shatter, and you'll hear people screaming when I smash on the ground.
Ooh wee. Mm-mm-mm.
Just outrageous work. Everybody else who's watching, how are you guys feeling about the? How are you guys feeling about the ceremony so far?
I was also gonna ask, how are you doing post wedding trip?
Oh, better now. Like I think the first like couple days I was feeling exhausted and stuff, and now I'm back in that routine of work and stuff. I was working earlier, and I just feel like burnt out already from work, which is just such a shame. I don't know if you're the
uh,
same way as me. I just feel like the monotonous nature of like day to day work, and just like I'm grateful to have a job. I'm grateful to have an ability to pay my bills, but
right.
uh, I kind of like appreciated like being somewhere where I could just like step out of the hotel and go walk around for hours,
Yeah.
and it not feel like exhausting or whatever, and
Mm.
like, yeah, this is not that here where I live. You want to go anywhere, you got to get in your car to get there,
Right. Exactly.
to get there in a reasonable amount of time, I should add.
Yeah.
But yeah, how
Mm-mm.
about you?
Oh, same. It took. It might have taken me a little longer than you, but I think the problem is, I mean, this isn't the wedding wasn't necessarily a problem, but it's just the wedding came during a week where I was transitioning into other recaps and reviews and certain things I was going to see, like, I'm Still Here. I think there was going to be a earlier screening of The Monkey that week. A couple
Right,
of new
right.
shows are coming on, and so it was kind of like, ugh. So when I came back in the midst of that, I was kind of off track, and so I feel like now, I feel like I'm settling back into.
Trust me, when and whatever, I'm happy I went. It was a great time being with you and the rest of our peers in
Mm,
person, and I got super drunk that night, so that was lovely. um
yes, you did.
I know I was trying to bring you your tripod thing for the longest time, but Mike's brothers just kept being like, "Perez, you want another shot?" And I was like, "Who am I to say no?" And I think like after you left, I took like another like 5 or 6 shots. Um, and I just couldn't say no. At one point, I told Mike, I go, "Dude, your brothers have just been giving me so many shots, I couldn't say no." But I go, "I think we're done for the night now, though." The second Mike walked away, here comes one of his brothers right around the corner with 2 shots in his hands. I was like, "Okay, I can't say no to this now."
Oh my. Like I said, did I say this at the party? Yes, I said this at the party. I was like, I'm just waiting for your inner lust to emerge.
My inner lush, you said? Oh yeah, I remember. I didn't know what the heck you meant when you said that initially.
Right.
um,
And I was right, but hey, it's all good.
right. It did emerge, but yeah, no. It was a good time, but yeah, I missed my press screener for Captain America, which that weighed heavy on my heart. Like just
Mhm.
I'm just glad we still saw it on opening day. Um, Idomon, I see you popped in here saying I'm late to the show. It seems it is still going on though, so if you want to throw on it on the side and have us here to have just a little commentary, feel free
Mhm.
to. We're still watching the Oscars live. It just got back from commercial break.
Yes.
Oh, and I'm still here. Just popped up. Yeah.
And I still need to see I'm still here. I'm so ready for it. Can you think of anyone besides Fernando Torres possibly winning?
I think Amanda Fernanda Torres definitely deserves it. She gave such a realistic, tangible performance. Um, it's tough to say. What's it called? It's tough to say. Demi Moore, maybe,
Oh, you know what? Yes, I blanked out. There's Demi Moore
but
also. Yeah.
there are some other ones that are like, as long as it's not Carla, you know, Gascon from Amelia Perez, then I'm fine.
Definitely deserve this.
Why was Ray Fiennes looking so serious there?
They showed him a couple other times he was looking like that too. Maybe that's his resting face. Who knows?
He's always in that Voldemort. Voldemort's
Yeah.
always in there.
Random question. Do you feel like his version of Voldemort should have had red eyes?
I don't think it was necessary, but I would have made it cool, I guess. Maybe they didn't
Okay.
want it to feel like Sith Lordy.
Okay. Oh.
Oh my god.
Whew. Oh. Oh gosh.
Oh Jesus. Dennis, I get your point that Demi's movie is as gonzo, it's out there for sure, but she did just win the SAG award, Best Actress at the Screen Actors Guild, so
Hmm.
there's possibility. I don't know about those jokes.
Which is why I struggle with award show banter. Some when it works, it really works. When it doesn't, it's like, that joke was hilarious though, because there was a time where I struggled to make sense of Bob Dylan, but I have a greater appreciation now.
Right, yeah. Dude, Dune definitely deserves it and sound.
I agree. Mhm.
It's got to be Dune, bro. It's got to be Dune that wins for sound right now.
I hope so.
Yeah!
Okay, come on
Yeah.
now.
I was like, come on, those other contenders, no way, no way in hell. Dennis, I think Timothy Chalamet has a good shot. I think he just won the SAG award as well. It was Miles Teller and Miley Cyrus, by the way.
Tamika, were you saying Zoe Saldana deserves it? Did you get to see Amelia Perez? Let's see. Yes. Hmm. Yes.
No, just outrageous work, bro. They should come on. They hardly had any time. That's like that guy's feeling crunchy right now, dude. Like
Absolutely.
his
I just feel
insides
like,
just went. You getting played off like before, like all. Ah, it's so frustrating.
and I just think that they pick and choose, like,
Right.
and provide enough time for them to speak if they have to. Like,
God, Gal Gadot. Mm-mm-mm.
I won't state the obvious, but yes, it's good that she has that going for her.
She's something else, brother.
In more ways than one.
Hmm. This is the tough one, man. Best visual effects. Better
Look, man.
man.
I had
Better
my issue,
man. Better man. I know it's not gonna win. Better
but
man.
but it did look good. Now, Dune,
It's got to
you
go to
know,
Dune, bro. Dune or Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
right?
It's Dune or Planet of the Apes. There's no way. Better
Come
man. I
on.
knew that you weren't gonna win, but it's okay. It's all right. It's all
What do you mean? They've won because you have kept Better Man in your heart
right. It's all right,
forever.
bro. Once I saw the nominee list, I was like, oh, it's going to Dune or Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, hands
But
down.
it did get a nomination.
I'm happy for that. That's why I'm wearing the shirt. Bryson, by the way, I prefer Voldemort, but I love Ray Fiennes in both roles.
Ooh, I know it's no comparison, but Ramesses, he was, yeah. I love Ramesses. I have a question. At what point, I'm just asking because you've said something. At what point do you check out on the speeches?
I don't know that.
Here we go again with this music.
Yeah, they're playing people off in inconsistent times, bro.
That's my problem. It's like either
Either like have a timestamp, like a minute,
right.
or don't.
Because I swear
Um,
some of these are like 10, 15 seconds.
yeah. As far as when I'm like over the speech, sometimes it's like I wouldn't say it's like a quick turnaround for the most part, but like
I didn't think so,
usually like
right?
if they're if it's heartfelt, I'm in. If they just feel like they're kind of like rambling through it, sometimes I'm like,
Mhm.
all right, like let's move on. But um, usually I'm happy to just hear them talk.
Right. Okay. I was just curious.
Tamika,
I
I
was
think I think Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was if it wasn't for Dune, I always say it. Dune came out the year before. Like Dune was supposed to come out 2 years ago
mhm,
instead of last year, and it would have gone against like Barbie and Oppenheimer and stuff. And I think it would have
right.
given those movies a run for its money in terms of like
Yeah.
certain things. Um, I think had Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes not gone up against Dune, it
Hmm.
probably would have won. Really quickly though, D, while we're on commercial break, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. You can keep the audience entertained real quick.
Okay. Let's see. I was going to say, who did I just see? Oh, Dennis, when you were saying like she has the career longevity and the comeback narrative with her movies too, Gonzo, I kind of agree with that only because we know how the Academy can be, and it's been such a struggle trying to get horror even recognized at all. I think, except for maybe something like The Exorcist and Carrie, the yeah, I think the amount of time we've gotten real horror performances, films awarded, it's been a struggle. So I can see that. I think the fact that she's nominated kind of shows progress, but I can understand how you mean like it's a lot for the Academy to kind of take on another level. Um, Itaman, I, I haven't heard any of the other Amelia Perez songs, but I keep seeing that. What is it? I keep seeing that the PNIS to VAGINA song, and I'm just like, how? How is this possible? I don't understand. Yeah, Tamika, I don't. Yeah, I don't get it. The thing is, these ceremonies are like, what is it? This This is 3.5 hours, which means I'm gonna need to go soon. But it's 3.5 hours, and I'm just saying, like, with all the, I understand you have to honor or showcase the nominees, but like, you can't provide any time for these folks to say what they need to say, knowing that it might be their only time to ever publicly, accept an award. Like, I just don't like that. And then they, like I said, they pick and choose who who speaks for a certain amount of time and who doesn't. So it's just like, please, not a good look.
All right, thanks for holding down the fort.
Mhm.
I was like
You
looking,
know,
I scrolled over to see how much more time they estimate that the show's gonna go on. I'm like, all right, if I don't go now, I'm gonna end up going at the wrong time.
right. Just like with certain movies.
I'm usually really good about that, honestly, man.
I am
I
too.
will dehydrate myself sometimes for a certain movie. The
Same. Yes.
like I was actually really grateful for the intermission in The Brutalist.
Mm.
Uh
There is an intermission.
there is, yeah.
Okay.
Like there's a 15-minute intermission baked into the movie. So I was really grateful for that. It gave me and the other critics, because I saw it at a press screening with just critics. You know, like
Hmm.
sometimes you'll probably go to those early screenings and they have like roped off rows for
Hmm.
like the
Hmm.
press or whatever. It was one, it was just press, and I got to
It was
talk to the critic.
exclusive. I
Yeah, I
got
got
you.
to talk to the critics like after in that, like, how are we feeling about it so far, kind of thing, you know. But it also gave me a
Awesome.
chance to go take a piss.
Which is always priority. um, what was I going? Oh, I was
I,
gonna say also Dennis. Yeah, Daryl Hannah looks great. Yeah, she doesn't really look any different than she did when she was in Kill Bill.
yeah, no, she looked
Honestly,
great.
I mean it's true. It's
Ana
just
de
not a good.
Armas is another one, bro, that I was telling you about earlier. Mm-mm-mm.
Yes. However, a certain film has I've had to I've had to reset after that film. And I think you know which one I'm talking about.
Right.
Oh, I know. I'm familiar with Anuja. I think I've heard of this one too. Remember that name?
Yeah, I mean, I really slacked on the short film and the documentary game this last year. I saw 116, 117 2024 movies last year, but
Okay.
I did not see any any like short films or like documentaries except for the John Williams one. And I watched the
So,
Superman one, but literally 2 weeks ago.
right. Shoot, or less.
You know, I think it happens if they leave too much of a gap in their time speaking, and the band probably just thinks, "All right, here we go."
Which is unfortunate. Where are these cues?
I'm glad we still got Morgan kicking it here with
Yeah.
us. Oh man, the part that always breaks my heart every
I
year.
know.
Uh,
Oh, Megas.
immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yep, damn near. Oh, I know Roger Corman. Wow. F. Bane, I know him too. Bob Dylan. Oh, she passed. John Amos.
So many legends, bro.
Absolutely.
El Cobbs.
Mm-hmm.
The craziest part is just how life moves on,
It does.
and we just keep moving, and then like you almost forget, like not that you forgot, but it's like, oh my god, they I did remember seeing that announcement last year and like being heartbroken
Yeah,
about it.
exactly. Mm. That was another tough one. Oh, all right. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, there's no way it's over. No James Earl Jones. Like, what's going on
Right.
here? Louis
Louis
Gossett Jr.
Gossett.
God, John Landau. John Landau died.
Mm.
And Shelley Duvall. Yeah.
Shelley. David Lynch. Yes.
An absolute legend.
Mm. Yes.
Oh, my heart, my soul. Ah, legends, bro. Legends.
Yeah.
I cannot believe all those people are dead. I can't believe James
Mm.
Earl Jones is gone.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't. I can't. What
I
that man
know.
has done for my soul, for my heart, for my life,
Absolutely.
my everything. I mean, not just me, of course, but it's
Hmm.
just what he did for cinema, for just
Mm.
Darth Vader, the way he lives in me, man. It's just like it's unreal. It's unreal. I hear his quotes in my head all the time, just cause I'll be driving and they're just like pop up in there, you know. Uh
Hmm.
I love it. And I
Yeah,
just rewatched Downton Abbey, all of it. My wife hadn't seen any of it, and so I sat her down and watched all of it with her. And man, just had such a great time. And then of course you lead up to that. Have you seen Downton Abbey?
I have, but the Michael situation and O'Brien being gone, I paused. I was upset about it.
Oh, okay. So you never finished it.
No, and then I also knew what was going to happen to Anna, and that also was just like, I can't do this right now.
Oh man, you should totally keep on, man.
I
Rewatching it, I was like, what?
know.
It's such a brilliant show, man.
It is.
I've been meaning to do a video soon. Since I did the rewatch, but I'm a little bit behind on that one. But I did cover the two movies that came out, and I'm looking forward to the third and final movie
Third
that's
one.
coming out
Yeah.
later this year. But yeah, man, it just breaks my heart, man. Oh, so many legends in the game. But James Earl Jones, like I just have such a special connection to that man on a different level that just seeing him there, just like I can't believe it's over, bro. It's been
Absolutely.
over, but I can't believe it.
And I think that what was I thinking of? Oh, and I feel like that in memoriam was another example where there are obviously people we know, but there are all these faces again, behind the camera, behind the curtain, behind the
Right,
set, all those other things. And it's just like you see these faces, executive, set designer, visual effects, whatever, and then you see the film and it's just like someone else who brought this thing you're familiar with to life.
right.
And they get to be honored as well. So that's what I'm saying. It's a whole big picture here. I understand how people feel about the Oscars, but I just feel like there are things that I think a lot of people don't acknowledge about it as a
Yeah,
ceremony.
it's pivotal, man. It's like, there's so many things that bring that one thing to life. I mean, here where I'm talking about James Earl Jones, right? But like he was
Hmm.
only the voice of Darth Vader.
Hmm.
There was David Prowse inside
Right.
inside the suit. There was
Right.
Sebastian Shaw when the helmet was taken off.
Hmm.
There's, been now at this point several actors who have done the stunts and like been inside that suit over the years, but like, it took those different pieces to make it what it is. So yeah, dude, it's I will always remember that man's voice. I wish I had James Earl Jones' voice. It would be the most magical thing.
Right.
I would just say Darth Vader lines all day.
I honestly believe you would.
The Force
Oh,
is with you, young Skywalker, but you're
that
not a
actually was pretty
Jedi
good.
yet. That's my favorite line, dude. Like I just love that scene. Luke coming up, that the silence. Then he hears Vader breathing. He says
Mm.
that sweet line to him. There's that little bit of a pause, and he goes, "But you are not a Jedi yet." Oh, just beautiful,
Hmm.
just top tier. Then the lightsaber starts sparking, and then you got that John Williams score that just heightens these moments. It's just so good. Um, yeah, so
Don't
good.
forget about the extended no in Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. No. I'll
It's
never
just
get
one of
tired
those
of that.
things. Maybe it's because I was younger, but it's one of those things that never felt that bad to me. But that gets dragged on the regular for whatever reason.
Even if it gets a chuckle, that's what I love about Star Wars, man, is that it's like it can be so serious and like lore heavy, but also goofy.
Yeah.
Which is why I struggle with people who like look for like perfection in Star Wars. I'm like, Star Wars has never been about perfection. Like
Hmm.
even going back to the OGs that everybody loves, like stormtroopers bumping their heads on the walking in through the doorway, or
Hmm.
like the admiral at the end of the first one going, "Thanks to the Death Star plans given to us by Princess Leia." It's like that those defined things to like not pronounce something incorrectly just wasn't there yet.
Right.
All right, well, I'm sorry. Where are we? Where are we in the show?
I see people.
I see people. What are we nominated? Mm.
Oh, okay. For anyone watching, we're on cinematography. Best
Yeah,
cinematography.
cinematography. Yeah, The Brutalist definitely deserves it as one of the movies for sure with the
Yeah.
cinematography.
Yeah, I'm even more ready to see this now. My mom was actually just asking about this. She's ready to see it too.
It is a beautiful looking movie.
Yeah. Mhm. And I also love the stuff like this, like where they're honoring just the yeah, I love this. Mhm.
Listen, man, I've talked my smack. I'll give it to Amelia Perez on a technical level. It looked good.
Yeah.
Not better than these other ones though.
Mhm. Mhm.
That movie looked phenomenal.
It did.
Any
That's actually one
honestly,
of my favorite shots with the hand going
right.
over the city. Yeah. Mhm.
Any of these could win, except for Amelia Perez. That's fine by me. It's a great looking movie. I'll give it to that. It's absolutely fantastic. It's beautiful, beautiful looking movie.
Brutalist, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear for a second.
Yeah, Tennis Reaper. There's been a few now at this point that have won for
Mhm.
different categories. Anora, Wicked, The Brutalist
Uh-huh.
now. I mean, I know D hasn't seen it yet, but
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
so curious to hear your
I'm
thoughts
ready.
on it. You're
I know
you're the
you are.
kind of you're the kind of like you're the kind of like critic that I love to hear talk about a movie like something like The Brutalist. You know, there's some people that I
Okay.
think like the intricacies of a movie like that, this
Yeah.
3 hour epic in a lot of ways that's like super dialogue heavy.
Listen, I love an epic. Mhm.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
That's awesome. Really quickly, I noticed Bryson, you popped in here saying hyperbole opinion. The original movie of Star Wars: A New Hope, pre-special edition, is professional. I feel, and he said lots of hard work in the space, the ships to fly in the stars in Star
Mm,
Wars is what you find professional. I think you took what I said earlier, maybe a little out of context. I love Star Wars: A New Hope. It's my one of my favorite movies of all time. I just think that there's little goofy elements that are in there that make it, you know, goofy, and I think that people sometimes take Star Wars too seriously when like
right.
it's imperfection is part of what I think is perfect about Star Wars.
Yeah, and it's very tongue in cheek as well. Mhm.
Right. All right. I'm still here. We're on Best International Picture, guys.
Oh, I'm still sorry to see the girl with the needle. I was waiting for that one for the longest. The way
Familia
France and
Perez.
Mexico have dragged that film.
I heard Seed of the Sacred Fig was great.
Yeah, same.
Flo already won though, so who knows? Flo won for Best International Animated Film or for Best Animated Film. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. Let's go. Yes! Woohoo! I'm still here. Well deserved. Yeah, brother.
Yes.
Woo, 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 woo.
Shout out to Brazil. I'm telling you, seeing the excitement from Brazil and so many people there has been exciting. Even like on your review and all that, and how everyone is so hyped. I love that.
Yeah, I've loved making the Brazilian videos, man. I really have. Like the community is so passionate, but they're also respectful. How are they playing him off already, bro? Like, let the man speak. He just won Best International Film, but that was a great speech. And the amount of tears I'm still here conjured around the globe, I'm sure could form an ocean. Yeah, man. Like the passion around the film was what I also like loved about it because there's a lot of movies that come and go, and there's not a lot of discussion around them. I always say my least favorite thing about a movie is when I go to see something and I sit down to review it, and it's like the pure definition, um, the pure definition of unremarkable. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? Like there's nothing to say or good or bad. And I love
nothing.
a film like I'm Still Here that has so many layers. It's so rich. It tells a human and real story. Something about you won't catch me at that Jaws exhibition. I'm not going there. Um,
Oh, what a hater! Are you still hanging on to that childhood issue?
it's not a childhood issue. I love Jaws. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, but I'm absolutely horrified of sharks. You will not catch me in the presence of an animatronic, even if it's sitting there not moving. Um, what's it called? But yeah, I just love to see the passion around the film, and what I've really loved is having all these people to comment on my video and like it my on my several videos I've done now and just like really expand upon the context for me. Like there's this
Yeah,
real desire to want to like inform.
yeah,
Every here and there's somebody comes in and be like, all right, well, here's what you don't get, but for the most part, people are like, like, hey, like here's some things you probably don't know that makes it even that much more impactful, or like
right.
here's why this really means something to me, or the people who have shared stories of how the dictatorship of that time in Brazil like spoke to them, like or how
Yeah,
it affected them, how it affected their personal lives, how it affected their loved ones. And I think that the discussion around the film has been nothing short of pretty amazing, to be honest. The Brazilian channel is now showing images of many places around the country where people gather to cheer for the Oscars. It is an event here. Yeah, I'm sure, dude.
As
I
it
can only
should be.
imagine people are going haywire right now that it just won, and we still got awards. You know, who knows? Will Fernanda Torres win for best actress? Will I'm Still Here win best picture? Who knows? There's some really steep competition, but I would applaud if it won in
Yes.
either one of those categories for sure.
Yes.
The chosen one. What's up, man? How are you? It's good to see you. I hope
Hey.
you're doing well. Evening, gentlemen. Just tuning in very quickly as I'm at work. Wanted to say it was an absolute pleasure to meet you both. Have a great stream, guys, and thank you again for being good friends to Mike. Well, thank you so
Ah,
much. I really appreciate it, and thank you for the drink back in the UK.
or drinks, plural, but yes.
To be fair, Joe bought me one drink. It was the others that bought me
Oh, I got you.
excessive
Oh,
amounts. um,
this was a
but
group
yeah,
effort. I got you.
Idaman, yeah, it's we're cheering hard here. Yeah, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I'm excited for you guys. It's a very very serious story that I'm happy is being told.
Did you see that last one?
What last one? Oh, hold on.
Uh,
Tennis Ripper. Finally got your live stream, and both of you are doing a great job with your channels respectively. Thank you so much. I really really appreciate that.
yeah.
I'm
Thank
sure
you.
D does as well.
Yes, definitely. I always appreciate the support.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks to anybody who's been watching. You know, if you've been tuning in, tuning out, if you're watching this after, I can't. I said it at the top before D. This kind of video, it's gonna sit here on the channel. I'm sure some people will click on it, but it's not like people are really gonna watch the Oscars alongside us
All right.
down the line. So if you're experiencing that with us right now, really appreciate it.
Yes.
Bryson says, I think the image of Red Clown's stage background for the best international film was cool. Yeah, I agree. And
Hmm.
okay, Anthony, you're right. I also know Star Wars has good humor. My favorite is Yoda's dialogue, "Slimy, my home. This is slimy. Oh yeah, my home. This is yeah. I love that line in Empire Strikes Back. All right, we're back.
You know why I struggle with this one, but I'm wondering if I should watch it anyway.
Right. I remember you said that you're like kind of like done with like the Jim Crow era kind of movies, right?
Which is hard for me to say because that's not to say it's not important, but good Lord, there are times where it's
Well, I
just
think that's why I struggle with the movie is I've seen films of that same time frame that have the same
right,
things that it's trying to say that I feel were more effective. But
right,
I'm in the minority on that one. I see it feels like Nickel Boys has become far bigger for a lot more people.
right. All righty.
Hey, hey, hey. Yes! Mark Hamill, stop the show.
What did you think of this score?
It's a good one. Definitely adds to the tension of the film. Bro, I'm so tired of seeing Amelia Perez in all these fucking
No.
categories, dude.
13 nominations, good lord.
I think I'm rooting for Wicked in this one.
Yeah, I love the score. Even knowing the original stage music, it's just something they did with the film. It just elevated it.
Yeah, it's got to be Wicked. Wicked or the Wild Robot. Okay, all right. I'm not mad about the Brutalist. I'll give it. That's fine. Congratulations. It should have gone to Wicked, but all right. Bryson says they're watching us on their phone while watching on the Oscars on TV. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Yes, we
Genuinely. Thanks
do.
for sticking around. I hope we're not talking over this stuff you want to hear too much. I've been trying to be cognizant of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to like balance it out. It's hard though.
Right, right. To get your Oscar handed to you by Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker.
Right.
Crazy work. Hey man, he got through it. I know he was nervous, bro. You
I could
could see it.
tell because I was
He was
like,
probably the
"Woo!"
most nervous of the night so far, but
Yes.
I hate to put it this way, man, but like you could just tell in his personality, even the way he's walking away there,
Yeah.
he's a man of his art. He's not a man
Mhm.
of like, let me go out there and put on a show for people,
Right.
like, which I respect. I respect.
Yes. It's crazy to see these two together, considering that they were feuding for a really long time.
Right. Yeah. Maybe this is where the debacle happens on stage.
That'd be fun.
Start squaring up.
Hmm. Yes. Yes. Color purple. Hmm.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I feel like I haven't seen Queen Latifah anywhere in a hot minute.
Yeah, she's been on the Equalizer. Yeah, I see Coleman in the front.
Coleman's so funny, bro.
Yes, I love Coleman.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting there.
Ooh,
I'm
definitely
nervous,
has been a
man.
journey.
But I cannot believe I'll say this now. I cannot believe that Denis Villeneuve was not uh what's it called? I can't believe that Denis Villeneuve wasn't nominated for Best Director for Dune. That is absolutely insane to me.
Honestly, I'm surprised and not surprised at the same time because it's just
I
like I've seen many times where a film, might get nominated for certain things and they just completely cut out the director. Like to even use one example, The Color Purple got like 11 nominations and Steven Spielberg not a nomination for Best Director.
which is crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
So it's more often than not. I've seen that happen a lot.
Did you like the Color Purple remake, the musical one?
Um, I liked aspects of it, but as someone who saw, obviously, I've read the book, seen the original film, and seen it on Broadway. I think they messed up as far as how they handled the musical aspect of it and then they did too much. There's so much in the book that you can kind of flesh out, or there's a way that you can kind of shift the perspective so that you're seeing certain things that the original movie didn't capture. And I
Right.
just felt like they didn't really do that. Like there were some aspects of the songs I liked, but then there were also original songs there that they didn't use, and they brought in other ones that were like fine. And I just think from a storytelling perspective, they didn't really get to emotional core of the story the same way that the original did, and even like the original story. I think it's still a lot. There's a lot that was done great, as far as the production and the cast and all that, but because I've seen all those different variations of it or adaptations of it or whatever you want to call it, it kind of fell a little bit short for me.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Or what I was telling you about distractingly beautiful again? Like, bro, like I saw the commercial pop up and my eyes just like just drifted over. Um, but really though, I just opened Facebook quickly just to see what people were saying, and I didn't even think about it. But people are already, calling out that in the in memoriam they left out Michelle Trachtenberg, of course, who also just passed away. Um,
Oh,
from but they also left out Tony Todd and
oh,
Shannon Doherty from
oh,
Charmed.
Lord.
It's always a shame, right? When you find out
It
that they left
is.
people out, like, and not that like I hate to put it this way, but it's not like they left out somebody that like people don't know. Like they left out like big names that are big parts of cinema, like Tony Todd, like Candyman alone, like that man is like a horror
Right.
icon.
I could say I'm surprised, but saying it's a good question, but I'm trying to figure that out myself.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Surely they have people to verify this, and I'm not saying this in a dismissive way. I'm just saying, but Gene Hackman, that just happened,
And same with Michelle Trachtenberg. I think it was like the day
right?
before. Yeah,
So how is it they could remember him and then not? I didn't understand that.
I don't know.
Oh, for let's see.
For best actor and best actress, I don't know, man. I'm
Um,
struggling with that one still.
it's kind of for me. It's between Demi and Fernanda, even though I know I haven't seen it. But just from the little bit I've seen of it, I'm just like I already know she's gonna be great
Yeah,
in this.
I really want it to be Fernanda Torres. Yeah, mainly because her mom was nominated in my whole exploring
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Brazilian culture. Fernanda Montenegro was
hmm
nominated for Central Station in the late
yeah.
'90s and lost to Gwyneth Paltrow in that Romeo and Juliet movie, which is for me is kind of abysmal. Like that's that's rough.
Kate Blanchett also lost to her in Elizabeth.
Right,
So it's
right.
just So more than one performance that wasn't on wasn't rewarded. Oh.
Oh my gosh, dude, this is such a tight race. I don't know.
Oh, I was even though I don't know if he'll win, I was rooting for Coleman because I thought he was great in
I would
Sing
love
Sing.
to see
But
Coleman win. I think it might be Adrian though. They might
yeah,
give
I
it
could
to
see it being him.
Adrian.
I sometimes forget that he's played so many American roles. I have to remind myself what his actual nationality is.
All right. I can see it going to Timothy too, man. He
And he did
killed it in
good.
this role.
He did.
But Ray Fiennes, Coleman Domingo, like
It's stacked.
Sebastian Stan gave two great performances this year. The only thing that holds me back from Ray Fiennes is I feel like I've seen him give a performance like this before. Quiet,
Yeah.
subdued, very well done, but He got those mannerisms down. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Yep, I saw that coming.
Hmm.
All right, Adrian Brody, Best Actor. I thought with the SAG win that Mr. Chalamet was a really big possible contender.
Hmm.
I always think it's so funny that in the acting space with art actors and artists, there's so much more like they're always the dudes are always so like prone to like grab each other's faces and like like kiss each other and stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Tennis Reaper, you have a great night. Thanks for watching whatever of the stream you did. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. I agree, Sin. I agree. Oh gosh.
All right. Sin, sorry, I didn't want to talk over it in case anybody was because it was a good speech, but it was for best actor. Adrian Brody won for The Brutalist, and he just gave a pretty good speech, I'd say.
I'm not trying to be funny, but is the length why they cut all those other ones off?
I think we're going into best director now. I think.
Ooh.
This is a tough one, man. I cannot believe Denis Villeneuve was not
That's what I'm
nominated for
saying.
best director. What the fuck?
Questions that need answers.
If Jacques Alduard wins for Emilia Perez, I'm telling you, I'm changing my last name right now. Brady Corbet. All right, that's fine, I guess. I like the Nora. All right, Nora won best director, Sean Baker. For anybody who's just listening to us,
This is not
I
helping your initial frustrations with Honora.
I like Honora. Don't get me wrong. I think Honora
No,
is
I
a
know you do.
solid movie. It's
Yeah,
just I think it's just a little overhyped. It's not one I'd go back to a million times, but I'd watch it again more than once.
right. Mm, that's true.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hey, hey. Yes, yes, yes. Mm, yes. absolutely.
That's a great speech. Great speech.
That was,
Sin, you said
yeah.
what?
I was
What?
let her know.
Yeah. Sean Baker just went on a speech, which I think he did recently at another award show that he won for Honora, but just went on a whole speech about the importance of cinema in the theater and pushed for filmmakers and distributors to continue to put movies in theaters. Um, and yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. As somebody who goes to the movies at least once a week, sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times a week. Um, it's the best way to watch movies.
Yeah,
I'm
and
upset that I didn't get to see Better Man in theaters another time.
and he also said, Sin, he was saying that, since the Ponderosa or a pandemic, yeah, he said like 1,000 theaters, disappeared, went away after that, and how there are still many under threat, especially a lot of the independently owned cinemas, and that those should be supported as well. And like as a fellow advocate of the theater experience myself, I loved hearing that. So I hope people continue to do that. And I agree, Ethan, man. The community, local business, absolutely. So
it's the
it's
be-
so many different aspects.
it's the best part about going to see movies, man. I love it.
Hmm.
And as people who critique film, like both Dee and I, this is something that we'd love to be able to do for a living or at least a big chunk of money one day. And as somebody who takes this very seriously and wants to, become better and better and better at film discussion and film criticism, I take that communal experience into account anytime I watch a movie, Um, if it's a kids movie and I feel like I'm not connecting with it because I feel like it's definitely something that's far more for kids than it is for adults, I still take into account the way I'm hearing the laughter and the eruption of it response from the kids in the theater. Recently, I saw, that comedy that came out, One of Them Days with Keke Palmer and SZA, and I wasn't really a huge fan, even though for the most part the reviews were pretty positive, but the theater I was in had a lot of people laughing. And I was able to take that into my review, and I think that that's an important thing. It's not just about me sitting on camera and being like, "Oh, I didn't like this, and here's why." It's like, "Here's what I didn't like, here's why, but here's what I also experienced with people. Here's what I heard," you know? And then every here and there's also and I'm sure, Sin, you could probably agree with this, D, you could probably agree with this. There's also that other flip side, right? When you go to see a movie and there's just that chitter chatter around the theater of what was that ending? Like, was it great? Was it bad? You hear people excited or confused, and there's discussion. But on the flip side, you can also see a movie that doesn't work with an audience and leaves people just kind of like silent, and there people are just walking out with not much to say. I experienced that last year with A24's The Front Room with Brandy, which was terrible. Um, but I love that. I love that communal experience and seeing how the film hits people because it allows me, as somebody who critiques film, to step out of my own personal experience, and really take my own personal experience as a part of it, but also, recognize how people in the theater felt about it too,
Yeah, and I
Um,
think what was. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, 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 go ahead. I was rambling there.
Oh no, I was gonna say also, what was great, and I think it kind of changes. And I've always appreciated the theater experience, but I think definitely when something goes away and it's such a core part, of our lives, and it's just like, what's going on? And I think that a part of my, process. I've talked about the whole, my mental emotional struggles, but part of that was, being back into the theater, coming back into the theater, and even for a film like The Hitman's Bodyguard's Wife, which is probably a silly, over the top movie,
Right.
not, top tier for a lot of people, but everyone was so happy and having
To
such a
be
good
back.
time that I
Yeah.
was just like, okay. I feel like it gave me motivation just to like, okay, I'm getting back to a better place. The world, we're getting, where everything is, we're finding everything to be normal again. Like the world
Right.
is restoring itself somehow. So
Right.
yeah, it's a definitely an experience to appreciate.
All right. Best actress.
Ooh, this actually is one of those parts that stands out to me the more I watch that.
I don't think Cynthia Erivo
He's not.
or Carla will win, especially Carla. I think Mikey Madison might have it, bro, but just because she won the SAG award. Oh no, she didn't. I'm sorry. She won the one before that, but Demi won the SAG award. I think it might be Demi or Fernanda Torres.
I hope so.
Come on, Fernanda. The Brazilians will go crazy. Oh my God, Mikey Madison, Best Actress. I'm sure that's gonna be an upset for a lot of people, bro. That's
Yeah.
gonna be an upset for a lot of people. Mikey Madison. Wow.
Wow.
I'm a little shocked, I won't lie. I thought
I
she
am
was
too.
excellent in the film. Excellent. But I just holy
Mm,
shit.
I'm saying compared to those two,
Who would have thought when we were watching Scream 5 a few years ago that that
right.
Mikey Madison was gonna be winning an Oscar a few years later? That's wild. I'll give it to her. I'll give her this. Mikey Madison is like she seems like in every interview I've seen and every like I watch like those actors on actors every year when they
Mhm,
do those and I saw the one that she did
mhm,
believe with Nicole Kidman.
mhm.
I can't remember. I can't remember who she did it with. But
Okay,
she
here we go.
has she's so humble.
Yes, I agree.
All right, I think we're going to best picture now.
Yes, we are.
Man, I do think it should have been Fernanda or Demi, but Hey,
Oh,
it is what it is.
Billy and Meg, Harry and Sally. Ah. Wow.
It's a lot of nominees, bro.
No disrespect, but I hope they don't do another sweep and give it to Honora.
Ah, yeah. Nora Best Picture? No way, brother. A lot of people think it's gonna be Conclave. I don't think so, bro. I don't know. We'll see.
I would be surprised if it was Conclave, to be honest.
Me too. I vote for Dune 2, bro. Who's your
I
call
do
right now?
too.
Dune 2?
I just don't believe. I don't know if the Academy is.
If it's Amelia Perez, I'll kill myself right here on
Oh,
camera.
please, please.
I'm
I would
just kidding.
love for it to be. I'm still here. I would also love Doom Part Two, but I'm just. I don't know if it has the. I don't think it has the voters behind it. Wouldn't be mad at the substance either, but we'll see.
I wouldn't be mad at most of these.
Yeah,
As
like
long as
most of
if
these are good. Two of these are a no for me though.
yeah, yeah. Honora, what? Honora Best Picture is
I
crazy.
said it. I said it. Like they sweep and they're gonna do their. This is no disrespect, but this is like the everything everywhere all at once. Like
But that
yes, I
movie was
enjoyed it.
amazing.
No, it was what I'm saying. But like when they'll do this thing where they'll do like sweeps and it'll kind of
Right.
block out certain categories where it's like yes, this was great, but it's almost like they want to sweep every category. And as good as it is, some of these categories had more deserving films. So that's kind of my issue.
Honora's story for me is just not as strong. The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Wicked. I mean,
Yeah.
no way.
I understand Isaman, but I think it's frustrating. I understand they're not going to like say this film, this film, this film. Like sometimes you're going to have a film that kind of dominates in more than one category, but just the way they it's just kind of predictable the way they hmm.
Well, I saw Sin said in there that that Everything Everywhere All at Once was over super overrated. I That was my favorite movie that year, so I disagree in the sense that for me, like
Eh,
when it swept, I was like, "Oh, this all makes sense to me," because I thought it was amazing long before it got any nominations.
Same, and I saw it myself without any other. And even when I saw the trailer, I was like, "What's up with this?" And I was iffy about it going in, and then ended up really,
Right.
really enjoying it. But yeah,
I
it's
said it
less
was my favorite movie before there was any awards,
right.
and then it started sweeping. I was like, "Hell yeah!" So I was team Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah. But my issue is just more so the predictability of the Oscars. It's like you can, I don't know, you can honor something, but this whole process behind it sometimes frustrates me.
Right. Yeah, I don't know that Honora would have been my choice for a lot of those categories. But hey, man,
Mhm.
Amelia Perez did not win. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yeah.
And
Um,
honestly, I will say this, like, regardless of how we may feel about it, like, I'm telling you, Amelia Perez is so far down there, like, it's not even funny. So,
no, no. Yeah.
in comparison, I'm like, okay, fine. It's kind of like
No,
what you
yeah.
said about Captain America versus Madam Web and and
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Craven. Yeah, it's like,
Honora is like Avengers Endgame in comparison to like, whereas like Amelia Perez is like straight up like Ghost Rider 2. Um,
right.
but yeah, Sin, I see you saying that you thought it. I have to ask you, Sin, though, did you watch it after the hype was already there? Because I do think that kind of affects people's like mentalities towards a movie a little bit. You know, like I watched it just like when it first came out, and I was like, oh my god, I was sitting there crying in theaters. I called my parents after the movie when I was like, telling them how much I love them.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, man, I don't know. There was definitely better movies by like a substantial margin. Um, what did you rate Honora? I rated it. I bounced between a 3.5 and a 4 on Letterbox. I landed on a 3.5 because I think it's a good movie, but I don't think it's nearly as good as
Yeah, as what?
like I don't think it's nearly as good as like people made it out to be. Like I know so
Yeah.
many people gave it like a 5 stars and stuff like that, and I was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah. Oh no. Sorry. I just and really to begin when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh Lord, is this something I'm going to actually enjoy just because of the narrative? I was just like, And I would say probably because of not just the comedy, but just the experience of it. It was a lot more than I expected. But it's not like it is something super thought provoking or in depth or something that is really reinventing the wheel. It's kind of like it's very much like what is it? Like Working Girl, Pretty Woman, those stories about women who kind of get thrust into these kind of Cinderella or messed up Cinderella type stories. And I appreciate that, and I think Mikey Madison is great. But as a film, it's not like it is. I don't know what it is saying and what it is setting out to say versus the emotional resonance I've gotten from some of these other films. I just think it's not comparable to me.
right. I couldn't agree more. I think in terms of like saying something and executing on that on an emotional level,
Mm.
like I think of something like The Substance. It had something to say. It was funny. It was
Yes.
quirky. It was crazy. It was zany, and it really resonated with people. In terms of like emotion, I think of something like I was about to burst into tears as Wicked was coming to an end. Dune
Hmm.
Part Two had me fucking like. I walked out of Dune Part Two and I'm like, this is like the Lord of the Rings of the Star Wars of this
Right.
generation. Like there was this feeling with certain one of these movies. The Brutalist, I walked out thinking, oh my god, this is like an immense like this. Even if you don't love this film, this movie is just a masterclass in cinema. And
Right.
when I walked out of Honora, for me, it's like that first act, even into like the second act, when they once they get married and once things start to kind of get crazy, um, I was like in a place of like, oh, like this is like really like impactful. Uh, but then it ultimately kind of just like it started to meander at a certain point when they're like searching for her husband,
Yes.
like at that point of the film for me, the movie just kind of meandered and there's some funny moments and things like that. And then it just kind of like felt like it just fizzled out. Like and I got what it was trying to say. I think the Mikey
Right.
Madison is great throughout it, but yeah, that was just struggling with that. But yeah, Nora wins Best Picture, man. Thank you so much to everybody who watched live. Thank you so much for everybody who was in and having the conversation with us and letting us know your thoughts. If there's anything we get from all of this, um, is that yeah, film is subjective. It really is. It's really subjective. But you know what? We all won tonight because Amelia Perez did not win in majority of the categories. All right. Woohoo! We can all sleep well tonight knowing Amelia Perez is dead. No, I'm just kidding. Zoe Saldana was is fine. I'm glad she won. I love her. But I'm glad that Amelia Perez, outside of that one song as well, did not really clean house. Any final thoughts on your side, my friend?
No, I'll be honest, like it wasn't my plan to be here this long, but it really was good. Like I think part of my I mean, obviously I mean there were things I had to do, but it was one of those things where it's just like the experience of it. I'm just like, when are we gonna be able to do this again, except but a year from now? So I was just like,
Right, right.
I'll just roll with it. I'll bite the bullet because I really was having a good time, and you and I don't even usually do things like this. So I was like, it's all good. Yeah, but I had a great time. It actually was a good ceremony. I was expecting a little more cringe, a little bit more meandering. Some of it, I was worried about it feeling like, is this over? They still can condense some of this stuff and definitely give people more time to speak because I still don't like the way they handle that stuff. But as the experience, I do appreciate that. And I'm glad some films, especially on, again, technicals, I'm glad some of those films won something and were awarded on that level at least.
Right, right. Yeah. No debacles, no crazy thing everybody's going to be talking about tomorrow. Just celebration of film. And for the most part, it was a really nice time. It was great. I'm glad you were able to stay on the whole time. This was kind of like a last minute thing. I've never done this before, but I want to do it again. So maybe next year we'll make it a thing. We'll get a couple more people. We'll make it a whole shaboodle. I did invite a few people on, but they weren't able to do it. So I was like, that's totally okay. And I was like, once I extended out the invitations and I got the declines, I just let the ones the one left, which was you, just wait for that response. I was like, I'm not going to reach out to anybody else. If it's me and D, it's me and D. And I think it turned out to be a good time. So, all right, it's getting late. We're almost 4 hours into this. A big thanks to all of you guys for watching. And I know nobody's really going to watch up to this point and on a future watch because it's over. It's over now. But a big thanks to everybody. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much for supporting D and I tonight. And
Yes.
we'll see you guys in our future videos. I don't know if I put it down there yet, but look up D Movie Man, his name, and you'll be able to find it. I got to put the link down there now, but I
It's all good.
I think I fucked up on that. But all right, anyway, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye,
All
everybody.
right.